Well, hey, my friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Coming Out Christian. If you have been following along, you know that this is a series for new or baby Christians, I like to say. And I'm just sharing my journey, my observations, the things that I'm learning, the things that I have questions about, the things that I got some answers to. And it is for anyone who is also on their faith journey. And I forgot to turn the ringer off on my phone. So we're just doing that right now because it's like amateur hour over here, guys. So yeah, okay. It's all turned off. You probably will hear the buzz though. My phone's been blowing up lately. So anyhow, because I'm so popular. No. So anyhow, new series well, it's not that new anymore because this is like episode number 9 in the series. And we touch on something a little bit different each time and maybe do a little recap of things. But usually it's just kind of whatever pops into my mind, to be honest with you, whatever comes to me. And I feel like, I feel like talking about it. So yeah. So that's what's going on. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. And if you haven't already followed my other stuff and things, I'm all over the place. So I would love if you give them all a follow. Why not? Right? Yeah. So anyhow, all right. So we got that out of the way. So before we got like really started here, I wanted to share something with you that happened this past weekend. Some of you, if you do already follow on my other stuff, you already know this, but I'm going to share it anyway. So 5 days until baptism, 4 days until baptism, 3 days until baptism, 2 days until baptism, 1 day until baptism. Today's the day.
Decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, it was a spectacular, awesome, beautiful, wonderful day. I'm still smiling. My cheeks hurt. My laugh lines are deeper than they've ever been, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. I don't mind it at all. Take laugh lines over frown lines any day, right? Yeah, that was being baptized, man. That was that was incredible. Very emotional day. I'm gonna tear up now, so we'll change the subject. But just suffice to say, it was a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful day, and definitely one of the greatest of my life. And I've had quite a few, so I'm very blessed that way. But anyhow, moving on. So I wanted to talk today. So here's the thing. So you know by now, of course, that I do a lot of social media stuff, a lot of in front of the camera stuff and things. My videos, my comedy, my commentary, everything that I do is social media and media based. So if you didn't know that before, now there you go. Now you know. And because of the type of content that I put out, which is, I go down the whole list, conservative, Christian, patriot, police wife, all of those things. So I kind of cover all of those bases in different ways, in different forms. And a lot of my content, again, which you may or may not know. So I'm sorry if you already know a lot of these things, but when there's a new person coming on, I kind of like to give them a little bit of background here of who the heck I am. So sorry. You can fast forward a little bit. I'll be quick though. So anyhow, so the type of content that I put out there tends to draw a lot of negative reactions. I get way more positive than negative, but the negative definitely, it definitely comes. And I make fun of it, most of the time, about 100% of the time I make fun of it. And I'm not bothered or upset by the comments or any of those things. I have them very well in perspective. But they're quite interesting to read and see sometimes. And as I've been very open and vocal and proud and excited and happy about sharing my faith journey, my becoming a Christian and being a believer and all of those things. And as is obvious, I'm very excited and happy to share this journey with anyone who cares to listen or watch. And I do that on all my platforms. I don't shy away from it, and people have said, well, maybe you want to tone that down a little bit. People are going to think you're crazy, zealot or something like that. And, I don't care. I don't care. Follow me, don't follow me. Obviously, I want people to follow my content. I mean, this is, how I'm trying to make a living. So, it's kind of obvious that I would like for people to follow me. But if my content isn't your bag, then you probably don't want to follow me. But these people actually, here's the funniest. They get the top fan. So on Facebook, you get you get like badges when you engage and comment frequently on a I can't think of what to call it. Every platform is different. They call it something else. On TikTok, you're called content creators, over on, I don't know what you call it on Facebook, but we're calling a content creator. So yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I have a microphone there. Probably just made a lot of noise. So whatever. So they get rewarded, so to speak, for being a regular engager in posts and videos and things like that. And a couple of the people that got top fan awards are actually people who really do not like me or my content, are very, very vocal about telling me how much they don't like me. In fact, I will share with you a couple of those things. Here they are, and they tie in. So there's a reason specifically for sharing this one. Yeah. So that leads us, it's a perfect segue into leading us into today's topic. Now, because you are possibly not a content creator, a social media presence, or whatever you want to call it. I feel so stupid saying things like that. But anyhow, if you don't do the same things that I do, you're going to probably experience this in sort of different ways than I do. And hopefully for your sake, I hope it's a much milder way than what I do. But it led me to want to talk about how you're going to, on this path, on this faith journey, especially when you declare it, when you let the world know that this is your journey, this is who you are, you're going to have people who are going to have a lot to say about that. And it's not going to be very nice a lot of the time. And you're going to have, I shouldn't say you're going to have here. I'll tell you what I have going on. And if you have some level of this, you might be able to relate, which is the whole point of sharing this, because it might be relatable. So anyhow, so you're going to have people, or I have people who judge me or judge my level or degree of Christianity or of faith or dedication to it. They judge it by their standards of what they think Christianity is, or how a Christian should behave, and how a Christian should act, and how a Christian should talk, and all of those things. And they're very, very judgmental, as you saw by that is not the first of its kind. That was the most aggressive one. There's many, many posts and comments from this person like that. Send me a private email, the whole works. So there's going to be people like that in various forms that are going to essentially doubt your Christianity if you don't act in a way that they think you should be acting. So I wanted to talk about that. And I wanted to give you, I guess, kind of some fortification, I guess. I don't know. I wanted to give you some encouragements here in dealing with that, should you be dealing with it. In their eyes, we are always going to be a bad Christian or a not good Christian. And the minute that someone says that to you is when you automatically know, without a doubt in your mind, that they have no idea what Christianity is about. And that, if you like stopped watching right after this, like right now, you would have gotten the most part of this message. I know I'm supposed to save it for last, but let me tell you, that's actually the most important part of this message. The rest is fluff. It's not fluff. It's good. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. Come on. But that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. If someone is judging your level of Christianity based on their standards and what they think you should be doing and how you should be acting, and they come on your I was going to say your page or your content, if they come at you with those judgments, shaking their finger at you, automatically, it's a hard pass as far as listening to what they have to say. You just say, thanks, have a good day, move on. It's all good. They don't know what they're talking about, because it's in Matthew 7. It's about judging others. Okay. So it says, I'm going to read you the whole thing if you don't mind doing it anyway. Sorry. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Now, here's the part that's, people always quote that part, right? Judge not, lest you be judged. But there's more to it. Okay. It says, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. So that was the hugely, vastly important part. It's not that we can't or shouldn't judge. It's that we should judge rightly or righteously. And unless you are perfect, unless you have no faults or flaws, then you shouldn't be judging. And guess what? None of us are perfect, except for, who? Jesus. He's the only one that's perfect. So, technically, he's the only one that should be judging. That's my interpretation. If somebody wants to, come in and counter that with something different, please do. I encourage that. I want you to, because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something or misconstruing something. Remember, I'm a baby Christian. I'm still learning. So this is the way I read that and interpret that, if you're going to cast judgment on somebody, so if you're going to go on somebody's social media page and tell them that they're not a good Christian, they're a bad Christian because they're, making jokes about things they think I shouldn't make jokes about, then, that makes me a bad Christian. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're coming on somebody's page, you're being harsh and critical and judgmental, and usually they're calling me names too. So pretty sure they've got the speck in their own eye. So anyhow, so that's like major thing number one, that if that's what's happening, that's what they're doing, then it's not worthy of your time or attention, or making you feel badly about yourself and second guessing yourself. Truly, I mean, it really is so simple in that we are all not worthy. If you are a true Christian, if you really are learning and striving to understand the truth and amazingness of our circumstance, and that everything is just by the mercy and grace of God, through Jesus, who paid for our sins, did all of those things for us, because we can't do anything on our own. We're just not good enough. We're just not, and we never will be. It's not a bad thing. I think we talked about that in the last episode. My memory is bad. I don't remember what I did yesterday. I can tell you a song I heard, 20 years ago, but I can't tell you what I did. Well, yeah, I can't tell you what I did yesterday, but generally I can't. Yeah, man, that's kind of the nutshell of it. I had written out this kind of like long thing, and I'm looking over it here, and the biggest thing here is that unless you're perfect, unless you're doing everything right, you shouldn't be judging. What's the other one? There's another one in John 8:7, and it says, I'm going to read it to you again. But when they continued to ask him, he stood up and said to them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. And of course, none of them could cast a stone. It was at an adulteress. So there was an adulteress that they brought out to be stoned. And Jesus stopped them and posed that to them, and no one could throw any stones. And the beautiful part about that, the most beautiful part about that story, is that the only person, it's going to make me cry. Jeez, I'm so crazy with this. The only one that could rightly cast a stone at her was Jesus. And he did not. Instead, he helped her up. So anybody who accuses you of not being a good Christian is simply not being a good Christian themselves. It's kind of that simple. And I really, really hope that helps you, because I know personally how discouraging and upsetting and frustrating it'd be when somebody points out or points at a failing that you have. And especially with something like this, being on your faith journey, we're trying so hard. We're just trying so hard. And when somebody says, hey, you suck, you're not doing good, it's really discouraging, right? So don't let somebody discourage you off of this journey for yourself, because as you know, and if you don't know, this journey, this is a relationship between you and God, not me, you and God. It's between you and God. It's between me and God. It's that relationship. It's that personal and private and special. And that's the only one that can judge you. So, and he judges with mercy and grace and compassion and kindness. So if your fellow man isn't capable of doing that, that's kind of on them. It's our responsibility to try and do that. And yes, we will all fail many, many times over. So I love this. I got this from our pastor, and I want to share it with you because, by the way, pretty much everything that I get is not really like mine. It's stuff that I'm learning through this. So it's whether it's through Pastor Carey at my local church that I go to, whether it's Pastor JP, who I watch online and do the interviews with, or it's directly from the Bible or my Bible study notes. You know what I mean? So it's like all things like, I don't ever want to pass this off like that I have this great wisdom and knowledge, because I don't. I'm just learning it and sharing what I've learned. So we had to get that out of the way. So this was something our pastor said. He said, when you're saved, you are saved for life, for eternity. God does not judge you on your behavior. And I'm going to repeat this because it really, really just settled right inside my heart. He said, God does not judge you on your behavior, but on your belief or by your belief. Doesn't judge you by your behavior, which is what we all think that we're being judged on. He judges us on our belief. So if you are a believer, you're in the club. You're in the cool kids club. It's okay. It's not a free pass to sin. It's not a free pass to act like a jerk. It's not a free pass. The beautiful thing I think about this and that knowledge is, for me, and I'm guessing for you as well, man, that knowledge just makes you want to be better. It just makes you want to do better, to please him, to show your gratitude, to be humble, and all of those things. And I think that's really, really special. I'm going to close it out with kind of what I said in the beginning, I guess. There is literally no such thing as a good Christian. There just isn't. We're not good. We're trying. We're definitely trying, and points to us, I guess, for that. But if we were good Christians, we wouldn't need God. I mean, it's kind of that simple. If we were so good at this, we wouldn't need him. We wouldn't need to be saved. We wouldn't need to be redeemed. We wouldn't need to be forgiven. We wouldn't need to lean on him in all our difficulties and struggles. So that hopefully is like a relief to you and a consolation to you. It is for me. And honestly, anyone who tells you otherwise, they want you to fail. I think that's the case. And they're not people, use that discernment, man, with people. And when they're telling you those things, the minute somebody says anything along those lines to you, you know that it's a big, fat, waving red flag that they don't know what they're talking about. And I mean, it depends how combative you are. If you want to tell them they don't know what they're talking about, go for it. But yeah, so that's all I got. That's all I got for this week. I hope that helps you. It helps me tremendously. And I will talk to you guys again in the next episode. We're looking at a hiatus pretty soon. I think we're going to do one more episode and do an August hiatus, and we'll be back with lots of new stuff. Holy cow, lots of new stuff in September. For the regular show, I'm going to be bringing on a co-host. We're trying out a co-host and see how that works out. And I'm really excited about that. This is actually kind of difficult to be talking to yourself all the time. I love banter. I love having somebody to chat with. So we're going to try out that format and see how that works. And I hope you'll watch that. That'll be starting in September. We may do a trial run and air it during August. I'm not really sure yet. We shall see. But man, it's going by so fast. Summer's going by so fast. So September will be here before we know it. Sorry, guys, if you're hanging on and clinging on to summer as hard as you can. I know I am. But anyhow, I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.